Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Young Dad Gaming Reviews, the series where I recount, reminisce and review the games that I grew up on, as well as decide when or if my son will grow up on the same games, and which ones I feel should be avoided for now due to extreme violence, suggestive themes, and or because the game just sucks. Next up,
Onimusha Warlords Remastered for PS4.
If I told you that you were going to be a samurai fighting demons in feudal Japan during a war, collecting the souls of Oni and Genma to power up your weapons, what game would you think I was talking about? Probably Sekiro or Nioh. Onimusha is sort of like the precursor to Nioh. I won't say the same for Sekiro since I haven't played that yet. Originally released in 2001 for PS2 and Xbox, then remastered and re-released in 2019 for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. Onimusha is a horror action game developed by Capcom and is one of the first games I remember beating before my dad could beat it. He had gotten stuck on the trap room puzzle and couldn't get Samanosuke out of the room, slowly filling up with water. Watching him get stuck on that part always scared me and made me think, well, if my dad can't do it, I can't do it either. Then one day, when I was probably around 8 or 9, I had decided to nut up and see if I could beat it. After a few tries and figuring out what needed to be done, I powered through and beat the puzzle. I immediately saved and stopped the game since I thought my dad would now want to continue since I had passed the part that he was stuck on. But alas, he was done with the game. So I pressed on, followed the story, and when I made it to Fort Embrace and defeated him, I felt incredible. With the 2019 release of the remaster, how well does Onimusha Warlords hold up 18 years later? In the story, you play Samanosuke Akechi, a samurai in feudal Japan who receives a message from Princess Yuki. Basically the same opening as Super Mario 64.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
When you go to visit her, she's kidnapped by demons whose sole desire is to kill her, fill her skull with her own blood, and have the warlord Nobunaga Oda drink it to make him stronger. He had made a pact with the demons after being killed in battle by taking an arrow to the an arrow to the neck. What I always thought was so cool about this story was the fact that it's based on real, historical events. Minus all the demons, of course. Maybe. Nobunaga Oda had committed seppuku and had his temple burned, while one of his generals had committed mutiny. Nobunaga's body was never found. The general who started this mutiny was Mitsuhide Akechi. Sound familiar? He was the father of Hidemitsu Akechi, otherwise known as Samanosuke Akechi. Whoa. Little bit of Japanese history for you. With the remastered edition now playable in widescreen and at a 1440p resolution, the game doesn't exactly look newer, but it looks smoother and runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, which helps the combat feel more slick and tense. The visuals still look great, and this is thanks to the pre-rendered backgrounds, like in the Resident Evil games. Each location is well designed, immersive, and really makes you feel like you're in Japan. Trust me, I live in Japan. This game makes me feel like I went outside and visited our old castle sites. It's pretty sweet.
You okay? Mikey, watch out! Ah! Oh, he who dings the shell must pay.
The game even has a pretty nice reference to the Resident Evil series when you first enter the keep. You visit a few different looking areas such as a riverboat location, a cool looking waterfall, and even the yokai realm itself. My absolute favorite location is the boss fight on top of a pagoda where you fight a demon samurai with a full moon behind you. It's absolutely breathtaking and intense. Speaking of Resident Evil, this game originally started out as an idea of Resident Evil with ninjas, originally called Sengoku Biohazard. And much like Resident Evil, it has uniquely designed monsters which were inspired by classic Japanese yokai artwork. Mainly original designs with different varieties, but all fighting in that classic yokai style. The character designs hold up relatively well, even though sometimes Samanosuke looks like his eyes are trying to escape from his head. See, you can tell this one is evil because of the way his eyes are bulging out of his head. Never mind. Oh god, they both look evil. I always thought Samanosuke Akechi was a cool looking badass, and you can imagine how surprised I was when I realized he was modeled after Kaneshiro Takeshi, who you might remember from House of Flying Daggers. Kaede was also super cool to me, and not just because she's got a sick ass tattoo, super sexy thigh highs, and legs that go on for days. Okay, maybe that was a lot of the reason, but not only that. Later in the game you play as Kaede for 2 separate occasions, and it's not just a skin swap for her character. She has her own movement and fighting styles, as well as this fucking badass flip neck slice thing.
Oh, she don't know it yet. Oh, but that's wifey right there.
The music was remastered as well. It sounds amazing and really helps immerse you in the world. The sounds of swords clashing and monsters growling still get my heart pumping. Oh, and Kaneshiro Takeshi actually came back to revoice his lines for the remaster. What a guy! Also, never play this game with the English voices. I'm not a subbed over dubbed guy, just a native Japanese speaker who can't stand the English dub. Like, seriously, just listen to these 2 scenes and tell me which one makes you feel more heroic.
Samanosuke, 幻魔を倒し、魂をその小手に封じよ。
俺に化け物の力をくれるっていうわけか。この小手で腕が引きちぎれるまで戦いって。
Samanosuke, defeat and seal their souls. To your right hand.
Huh? So, fortune has smiled upon me this day. With the power of this gauntlet, I will destroy all of those monsters and save the princess!
The Japanese voice sounds more focused, with a silent anger and determination to save the princess, while the English voice sounds like... America, fuck yeah! Also, the demons just sound cooler in Japanese. Here's the part I wanted to get to. The gameplay. Underneath all the amazing visuals and sound design lies a very technical and rewarding combat and exploration system. As a kid, I would just rush into battle, slice and dodge attacks, collect souls, and spend the majority of the game leveling up my weapons and elemental orbs, until one day I found out you can perform Issen counterattacks. The game never explains this to you, nor do they ever give you a moment in game to learn about this. You either figured it out, or never knew it existed like me. There's 2 types of Issen. A counterattack, where you evade an enemy's attack and deliver a fatal blow, and the parry counter, where if you block an enemy's attack at the right moment and then press the attack button, you'll deliver a fatal blow. It's a deep risk and reward system which I still have trouble pulling off to this day because it needs to be frame perfect. If you manage to pull it off and only get hit twice, the Issen will pretty much always make the enemies drop health orbs. By getting really good at the parry counter, I managed to level up my 3 weapons and elemental orbs to max level within the first hour. Even after 18 years of playing this game, I'm still finding secret moves that I didn't know you can do. For instance, these ninja guys will sometimes jump back and throw daggers at you, but you can deflect them back and get a huge bonus for doing so. God, it's so satisfying. Each enemy has their own unique moves, and none of them ever feel unfair or too difficult. Except for these flying fuckballs. These Japanese Langoliers will just float around, steal souls from enemies you kill, and even from your own gauntlet, then they'll just disappear. I still hate these guys.
So after revisiting the remastered edition after all these years, how does it still hold up?
To be perfectly honest, I didn't really notice much of a difference between the PS4 and the PS2 version of Onimusha. In fact, I didn't even notice the music was redone or that Kaneshiro Takeshi came back to redo his lines, although I highly respect and appreciate that he did that. So, is this a bad thing? Not really. The game handled almost exactly the same, with some pretty cool implementations, such as using the shoulder buttons to switch your weapons on the fly instead of going to your inventory, changing weapons, and then resuming the game. The game ran very smoothly, and during certain moments where I remember there being lag because of a transition, for example, having to light these candles with your NU would cause the game to lag for a second, as the game seamlessly transitioned from a pre-rendered room in the dark to a pre-rendered room lit up. Quite impressive for the time as well. In the remastered version, you can see a very slight hiccup at this exact moment, but loads the new background in very quickly. My only real complaint with this game is that it is a little too short, and leveling up all your weapons to max can be done very quickly. While absolutely satisfying, that satisfaction is quickly ended right when you want more.
I had an absolute blast playing through this game again, and I'll definitely be playing it again in the future. Sadly though, I've never played any of the other Onimusha games as I've never owned them, but I would love to play through all of them. Hopefully though, a new Onimusha project will be in the works, as Kaneshiro Takeshi still seems to have a lot of love and respect for the series, and seeing him and other characters return on next-gen consoles would be a dream come true. Overall, I give the PS4 Remaster of Onimusha Warlords 4.5 arrows to the neck out of 5 for its strong gameplay, immersive story, and gorgeous backgrounds and visuals. As for games I would let my son play, I would rate this as a whenever he feels ready, as I understand that this game can be quite difficult, but whenever he feels like he's ready to become an Onimusha, I'll let him. As for nostalgia value, I give this game a solid 4 Cocoon Guys out of 5, as revisiting this game brought back so much joy and so many memories. Like, that water trap room always gets my heart racing. Thank you to everybody for watching this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below to recommend games you'd like to see, subscribe to my channel, and if you'd like to be notified, ring that bell. Also, if you enjoyed the theme song, don't forget to check out Ellie's channel for some amazing covers. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye!
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got troubles, I got him too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. To stick together we can see